is not South Beach. That's 400 miles that way. This is old Florida before there was a Miami. Welcome to Amelia Island. I see treasure.
Hey, let's sail away. Let's pretend we're born again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's a good day to begin.
Driving south on I-95, just after entering Florida, you probably have passed by the exit for Fernandina Bch, not realizing you just passed one of the best getaways for experiencing real Florida before there were theme parks. Where parking is free, where sprawling oaks form a canopy, where you can drive right on the beach. In this video, we'll show the historic downtown of Fernandina Bch that is full of several restaurants with quaint courtyards. We'll take you inside a military fort at Fort Clinch State Park, then show the surrounding trails, campgrounds, and beaches. Sail up the coast with Amelia River cruises to around the undisturbed Cumberland Island, Georgia, where there's wild horses. We'll ride a catboat into the backwaters of the region.
Bailey was a bad girl, and they threw us both in jail.
Take you to the historic jail, now a history museum. We'll cover 23 miles of shoreline from the St. Johns River Ferry and travel up the now Jimmy Buffett Highway, showing the beach parks of North Jacksonville, including Huguenot Park, Little Talbot State Park, and Boneyard Beach. Then crossing the Nassau Sound Bridge to Amelia Island State Park and the George Crady Bridge Fishing Pier. Then to American Beach, ride a horse on Peters Point Beachfront Park, then Seaside Bch and Main Beach. The oldest lighthouse in Florida, and Egan's Creek Park. For lodging, we show 3 resorts, including the gorgeous Omni Resort, which sits on the Amelia Island plantation, as well as 4 bed and breakfasts and 18 eateries. We are doing a lot of Florida this year, both the West Coast and the East Coast, so you want to subscribe and click the notification bell. Later this year, we'll show you the south end of A1A. Today, we take you to the north end of the now Jimmy Buffett Highway. So join us as we explore the Isle of 8 Flags, Amelia Island. It's sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean at the Omni Amelia Island. We'll come back here later in the video to show you the resort. And this is the sunrise at the only oceanside pier, which is part of the Amelia by the Sea Resort. It's a private pier to walk on, but you can enjoy the beach underneath. There's a public parking area close by, right next to the beachside motel. We'll show you an even better pier at the south end of the island later in the video. Now, most people driving to the island will take the A1A exit off I-75. You'll go through the city of Yulee, Florida. It is here at Melton O'Nelson Park. You can take the Lofton Creek Kayak Tour, which is $65 per person, as you paddle through the forested wetlands of Yulee on this blackwater tidal river, surrounded by reptiles and birds, probably the best kayak tour in the region. Next to the park is the Lofton Creek Campground. Nothing fancy, but offers full hookup RV sites. You can also enter Amelia Island by small plane at this airport, with a terminal in the shape of a plane. Although most people will fly into Jacksonville, that is a 45-minute drive from the south. We will be doing a full feature of Jacksonville later this year. Now, some arrive at Fernandina Bch by cruise ship, as American Cruise Lines has several routes that make stops here. This is the Southeast Islands Cruise. A 9-day cruise sails out of Charleston, with stops at Hilton Head and Jekyll Island and Savannah, Georgia. It's about $5,000 to $7,000. And there's the Great Rivers of Florida cruise. An 8-day cruise starts and ends in Jacksonville, sailing down the St. Johns River, about $5,300. We, however, are going to take a slightly smaller cruise. Amelia River Cruises offers a 90-minute coastal tour or a 2.5-hour tour to Cumberland Island, Georgia, as well as a sunset tour. I'm on the 2.5-hour tour, which is a very reasonable $35 for adults, $29 for children 4 through 12. There is a restroom on board, and you are welcome to bring your well-behaved dogs. Bailey saying hello to Ruby, a Cavalier Spaniel. People joke about Fernandina Bch being surrounded by 2 paper mills. Amelia Island, as well as being a tourist destination, is also an island that people live on and work on. Both the mills was recently purchased by Amazon. It was the Florida Railroad in the 1850s, built by Senator Yulee, that helped establish Amelia Island as a tourist destination, as it connected Fernandina Bch with Cedar Key on Florida's west coast. The old train depot now houses the visitor center, and there's restrooms next door. And around that same time period, Fort Clinch was built, a 19th century coastal fortification.
1847, they begin building the fort here.
Fort Clinch is a 19th century coastal fortification located on the northern edge of Amelia Island. It was used during the Civil War by both Confederates and Union forces in the Spanish-American War, and became a state park in 1935. To enter the state park, it is $6 per car for up to 8 people, and then $2.50 per person to enter the fort. It is here you can explore the many rooms and galleries, learning about the life of a Union soldier. The first weekend of every month, there are cannon firings. This fort, however, is only one little part of this massive state park. There's an RV and tent campground with restrooms, and several hiking trails, as well as a 5.5 off-road multi-use trail through a maritime forest with rolling hills and turns.
This is what the beaches look like on this side all year long.
There's 2.5 miles of beach areas along the Amelia River in St. Mary's Inlet, great for fishing, and another 3/4 of a mile of shoreline on the Atlantic Ocean at the East Beach area, with a boardwalk, restrooms, and a jetty where the St. Mary's River meets the Atlantic. Back on the cruise, we are now on the Florida-Georgia line.
And they are in Florida.
I'm in Georgia.
Nothing to do with Georgians. It
I'm
has
in Florida
everything
now.
to do, but wherever baby is born is what kind of dolphin it will be. And so because our area is smaller and there's not a lot of predators, the dolphin that stay here year-round aren't very large.
The narration on this tour was great. Learned so much about the area and the history. The Cumberland Island National Seashore is believed to have about 150 to 170 wild horses on it. The Dungeness Mansion here was given to Revolutionary War hero Nathaniel Greene, was later rebuilt by the Carnegie family. The Carnegies and the Rockefeller families owned several homes on the island. You can take a ferry to the Dungeness docks here from St. Mary's, Georgia. It's $40 for adults, $30 for children, 15 and under, and there's a $15 entrance fee to the National Seashore. You can also bring a bike for an additional $10. Our boat tour goes to within view of Kings Bay Naval Station, one of 2 submarine bases in the U.S., which maintains intercontinental ballistic missiles. Now, if you want to get even closer to the nature, there's backwater cat adventures. These are kind of like a jet ski, only you are sitting down very comfortably, skimming right over the water. It goes deeper into some of these areas that the boat tour can't go into, like Beach Creek here, and it will dock at a couple of spots. You can usually walk onto Cumberland Island. It is $90 for an 85-minute tour, or $139 for a 2.5-hour tour. Well worth it for a unique experience. Back in downtown, you can eat at Brett's Waterway Cafe for before or after your cruise, with seating overlooking the harbor. Bailey meeting these nice people from the Philippines and from Japan. And there is also across the street the Salty Pelican, very highly rated for great seafood.
The one time when there was a jailbreak.
Amelia Island has a fascinating history, which you can learn on the boat tour that we just went on, as well as the old Nassau County Jail, now a history museum. It is $10 for adults, $5 for children, 5 to 17. Learn about Blackbeard, a notorious pirate, is said to have buried treasure on Amelia Island. They have a daily 8 Flags tour where you can learn about the different countries who controlled the island. The Mocama Native Americans lived here till the French discovered the island in 1562. They first called it Isle de Mai. Then 3 years later, the Spanish would rename it Isla de Santa Maria. In 1736, the British renamed it after Princess Amelia, the daughter of King George II. After Spain, France, Britain, Mexico, and a couple of other republics would control the island, in 1821 the U.S. took control and established the 8th flag to fly over the island. Fernandina Bch can say they are the oldest city in Florida, as it was discovered 3 years before St. Augustine. However, when the British destroyed the island in 1702, it was largely deserted for a period of time, so that's why St. Augustine says they are the oldest continuously occupied settlement in the U.S. By the way, we'll be doing a new video of St. Augustine in the fall. We'll come back to downtown at the end of the video, but for now, it's time to explore the Atlantic coastline. We begin in Jacksonville, 10 miles south of Amelia Island, at the St. Johns River Ferry. It's a short 5-minute, less than a mile long, a shortcut to save people from having to go through downtown Jacksonville when traveling along the coast on A1A. There's a couple of restaurants here, Billy Jack's Barbecue with outdoor seating. And on the other side of the creek is the Sand Dollar for locally caught seafood and steaks. A mile up A1A is Huguenot Park. It's a $5 per car for up to 6 people. This park is surrounded by water, offering camping, fishing, kayaking. You can drive and park directly on the beach. Dogs are only allowed if you are camping here. On the south end of the Fort George Inlet Bridge is Alimacani Park and Boat Ramp, named after the native people who once called this area home. No fees for this park. Another good area for viewing wildlife and putting a jet ski, boat, or kayak on the Fort George River. A1A on this stretch used to be called the First Coast Highway, but in 2024, all of A1A from Fernandina Bch to Key West was renamed the Jimmy Buffett Highway. We enter Little Talbot State Park here with the same $5 per vehicle fee. This island has more than 5 miles of pristine beaches and 3 miles of bike trails. Just untouched natural beauty and ecosystems to enjoy. Dogs are allowed in most areas of the park, but not on the beach. Another half-mile up A1A, located on the riverside facing the marshlands, is a little park area where you can rent kayaks, paddleboards, and bikes with paddle. It's about $25 an hour. There's a popular spot for fishing with a boardwalk over the Simpson Creek. This creek separates Little Talbot Island with Big Talbot Island. Out in the Atlantic are the sandbars of Bird Island, just across from Black Rock Beach. There's a little parking lot here with a half-mile Black Rock Trail that leads to the beach. Another mile north of Black Rock Beach is Boneyard Beach, a stretch of 3 miles of shoreline, known for its oak skeletons of massive driftwood trees that look like images of an elephant graveyard. There's a parking area, and it's about a half-mile walk to the beach. These are fallen trees over the past few hundred years, with their bones bleached, smooth, and battered by the sun, sand, and wind. And there's the Timaquan Trail, an asphalt bike trail that winds its way through a canopy of live oaks across Little Talbot and Big Talbot Island and ends at Peters Point Beach on Amelia Island, a total of 8 miles. There's a half-mile long boardwalk with overlooks just before the Nassau Sound Bridge, which takes you to Amelia Island. On the riverside is the Sawpit Creek boat ramp, which gives you access to several finger creeks that make up the Sawpit recreational area. So when visiting Amelia Island, you may want to check out some of these northern coastal areas of Duval County. We now move from Jacksonville city limits onto Amelia Island over the Nassau Sound Bridge. At the southern edge of the island is Amelia Island State Park. It is $2 per person to enter. It's the best $2 you'll spend. This is one of 2 beaches you can drive on, provided you have a 4-wheel drive, where you do not have to be a resident of the county. It is limited to 300 people at a time, but I've never seen this area very crowded at all. Also makes for a good beach to bicycle on. Dogs are not allowed on the beach here. Another good reason to have a Cargo G-Train dog backpack. Bailey can enjoy the beach without her paws ever touching the beach. You can access the old bridge going under the Nassau Sound Bridge, or just park on this side, which is the George Crady Fishing Pier. A mile-long fishing bridge, considered one of the best fishing areas in Northeast Florida. Great for experiencing lots of birds, especially in the late afternoon, evening. This is also one of the best places for sunset on Amelia Island. Also on the south part of the island is the Omni Resort, with 3.5 miles of uncrowded beaches. It's the biggest resort on the island, and I think the most beautiful, as it sits on the Amelia Island Plantation, with 1,300 acres surrounded by a maritime forest. Plenty to do within the property, from tennis and pickleball courts, walking and biking nature trails under sprawling live oak trees, with boardwalks around gorgeous lakes, 36 holes of championship golf, as well as a mini adventure golf. And there's fishing, kayaking, paddleboarding on marshlands. This resort has the largest pool deck in Northeast Florida, with a splash pad, a jacuzzi, an oceanfront restaurant, and a counter-serve eatery, with cocktails by the pool. And it's dog-friendly, with a $200 per stay pet fee. And there's a shopping village around a lake that is open to the public, with the Marche Barrette restaurant, with seating on the boardwalk. You can book the resort on Booking.com or find these convenient condo rentals on Vrbo. And there's these vacation rentals at Huron Oaks on the property. You can also book on Vrbo. We hop back on the Timaquan Trail, which you can take up to Peters Point Beach. A couple miles north of the Omni Resort is Burney Beach Park. There is plenty of parking and it's totally free. There's full facilities with showers, picnic tables. Next to it is the historic American Beach, which created in 1935, one of the few beaches in the southeast that was open to African Americans during segregation. You can also drive on this beach, but must be a Nassau County resident. Now we'll show some great eateries, but wanted to point out a great way to save money and get good prepared food at this Harris Teeter grocery store. They have an Asian bar, a hot bar, a salad bar, or get pizza by the slice, just $3, and they have a Starbucks. And there's also a good Dunkin' in the center of the island. In March, the Ritz-Carlton here hosts the largest car show in Florida. The Amelia Concours d'Elegance is a 3-day festival of parades, rallies, and tours of both classic and modern cars. The Ritz-Carlton is also pet-friendly. It's a $170 pet fee for the first night and $20 per night after that. Pretty plush resort. You can book at Booking.com. Next to the Ritz-Carlton is Peters Point Beachfront Park. Plenty of parking, full facilities, multiple large picnic shelters. There are several boardwalk crossovers to the beach. This, a dog-friendly beach. You can drive on the beach if you are a Nassau County resident, but I am going to ride a horse on the beach with Amelia Island horseback riding. It's an hour ride. During the day, it is $125, or a sunset ride is $175. There is also Happy Trails walking horses that are here as well. mile and a half south of Peters Point is the pier that we started at sunrise. Amelia by the Sea, as well as this condo, has cabins, cottages, villas, which you can book on Vrbo, and then you would be able to enjoy this pier as well. Another mile north of the pier is Seaside Bch Park. I think this might be my favorite public beach park, although it has a smaller parking lot. The beach is dog-friendly. Tucker, a golden retriever, happy to meet Bailey. Here you have the beach store across the street, where you can rent beach chairs and umbrellas, bicycles and surfboards, and other beach rentals for a day of fun. 2 chairs and an umbrella is $25 a day. You can drive on the beach here with a 4-wheel drive, and you do not have to be a county resident. It's totally free. Also here is Slider Seaside Grill, a 2-story eatery with live music. At the tiki bar, you sit in these tropical swings. Pretty cool. There's a playground to keep the kids occupied. One of the best places on Amelia Island. Also, across the street is the Hammerhead Beach Bar. Two miles north of Seaside Beach is the biggest oceanside beach park of Amelia Island, Main Beach. This is at the end of Atlantic Avenue, which takes you to downtown Fernandina Beach. There's long boardwalks along the park, 2 sand volleyball courts, a mini golf, and a large grassy area with several picnic shelters, restroom facilities, outdoor showers, a playground, plenty of benches. There's parking all around the park, but being the most popular park of the island, during prime season the lots can get filled up. It's another dog-friendly park. The skate park here is going to have a $2 million makeover. There's the Salt Life Food Shack, which serves sushi, tacos, and burgers, with a rooftop bar. We are going to the dog-friendly sandbar next to the park. You can dine in an open-air patio or right on the beach. I'm trying their shrimp platter. It was about $25 with a drink. Pretty good. There is also North Beach Park, another mile up the beach, but we are going to head towards downtown. A half-mile west of Main Beach is Egan's Creek Park, a nice little newer, well-manicured park with workout equipment, a good-sized playground, and there's a dog water fountain. There's also the Egan's Creek Greenway with grass-covered roads that serve as a network of trails for walking or bicycling, with benches, interpretive displays, where you might see gators, snakes, marsh rabbits, and many birds. And just up the creek from the park is Amelia Island Lighthouse, built in 1838. It's the oldest lighthouse in Florida. You can't climb it, but there is a tour on the first and third Wednesdays of each month. It's $10 for adults, $5 for children 12 and under. Now back at downtown Fernandina Beach, with Victorian-era architecture, Center Street, which is its main street, with large oak trees, benches, and quaint shops, make this downtown very pedestrian-friendly and dog-friendly as well. Historical homes like the Lesesne House, with an oak tree 250 years old. There are several bed and breakfasts you can stay at, like the Hoyt House, a 4-star hotel you can find at booking.com. The Addison Amelia Island, you can book on Expedia. The Florida House Inn, the oldest continuously operated hotel in Florida. And there's the Hampton Inn here in downtown. The Palace Saloon, originally constructed in 1878 and became a bar in 1903. It is the oldest bar in Florida. It is said to have served ice cream during the Prohibition era. It is still a popular bar today with live music. You can take these 45-minute Jeffers carriage rides of the architectural landmarks of downtown. They are $40, or a 90-minute historical tour by van, or a 90-minute anchor trolley tour, $28 for adults, $18 for children, 4 through 12. There are over 45 shops here. With Fernandina Fudge, you can get marble slabs of fudge, and you can watch them making it. But they also have delicious ice cream. Bailey enjoyed it too, as you can see. There's mezcal, some fine dining with an array of Mexican favorites and margaritas. Moving further up Center Street, there's Amelia Tavern with pub grub and beers brewed on site in an industrial chic place. You want some coffee and baked items? Across the street, there's Amelia Island Coffee. Let's go down North 3rd Street. One of the best counter-serve eateries is Timothy's, a seafood shack with an open-air patio. You can get fish tacos and lobster rolls. I'm having a crab burger with a cucumber salad and fried calamari. Next door is Duck Pins with bourbon, craft cocktails, and food with duck pin bowling. Next to that is Cafe Caribou, a chill bistro in a garden patio. There's Baba's Mediterranean restaurant, and around the corner, Gregor McGregor, a mini golf with a snack bar. Moving down South 3rd Street is the Green Turtle, a rustic tavern with a Key West vibe, live music. Across the street, the Hofbrau Amelia, a German beer garden with a variety of draft beers with authentic German food. On the corner, Akawi Sushi with Asian fare. On 2nd Street is the popular Boathouse. Many of these outdoor eateries have many lights, provides a really intimate atmosphere at night. And there's Scully's Irish Pub in a brick courtyard with a dartboard. Next door is PJD's Beer and Wine Garden. Back on Center Street, there's Pepper's Cochina, a Mexican restaurant and tequila bar. Mason's Famous Lobster Rolls, Forchada, and Main Source Lobster. And next door, Tasty's, a popular counter-serve burger place in a vintage gas station. And a couple of blocks from Center Street is the Patio at 5th and Ash, fresh seafood in another quaint lighted patio. So just some of the places for food and drinks in downtown. Also wanted to point out, near the Route 200 bridge where you enter the island, located at the Windward at Amelia Island Marina, is Kitchen 251 with seafood and cocktails, seating right on the water. So there you have it. While Amelia Island has grown over the years, it still hasn't lost its old Florida vibe, a place where you can certainly experience the nature of Florida. I've listed the places featured in this video in the description below, which hopefully will help to guide you as you plan out your Amelia Island getaway. I would love to hear what you have experienced here. We'll be coming back to the First Coast at least a couple more times this year as we do a big full feature of Jacksonville, I think one of the most underrated cities in Florida. And also want to do a new video of St. Augustine during their Night of Lights, which begins in November. Also in the fall, a new video of the Florida Keys and Key West.
A boss, baby!
Next, we head back to home base for Tampa 2025, as we'll be featuring Gasparilla and the Savannah Bananas, among the other updates of our home city. After that, we'll be continuing down the west coast of Florida, doing videos of Minnesota, Port Charlotte, and Fort Myers, including Sanibel and Captiva Islands. So you'll want to subscribe and click the notification bell, so much coming soon. I also appreciate the new members signing on, as well as the super chats. There's a lot of expenses in creating these videos. Your support really helps to cover a lot of these expenses. We are Tampa Aerial Media. We film travel promos across the USA. For stock footage, or if you'd like to hire us to film your city, region, or vacation rental, contact me at info@tampaaerialmedia.com. From the first coast of Florida, I wish blessings to you, wherever you may be.